So South Africa A have ticked another box on their in their plans, I think, for the future. And South Africa A obviously winning the ODI series against Sri Lanka A, with a final victory in the second ODI by 5 wickets. And today we're going to discuss this ODI series and what are the positives to take away from this ODI series. What are some of the great things that we can take away from this Gold Tour so far? And we can maybe look ahead at some of the other news stories that also broke today, over the last couple of days, as well as just look ahead at the 4-day series as well. But before we get going, before we get started, if you are new here and it's the first time that you're here, please subscribe to the channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, what I'd like you guys to please do is smash that like button, comment, and share. It's very important that you guys do so that we can get into recommended feeds and you can continuously grow this particular channel. We are on the mission for 4,000 subscribers, so please help us get there. We're not aren't too far away. We need about 50 subscribers to get there, so please help us get there, guys, by telling your friends and family about us and about this channel. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. It's a season review and also a look ahead at the new seasons. We've got a couple of coaches in here and players that are talking about the last season and the season ahead. So please go ahead and subscribe to that, please. Then also, if you want to support the channel and want to support what we are doing here and everybody that is involved with Cricket Fanatics magazine, then please become a Patreon today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. It's as low as just buy me a coffee a month. So please go ahead and help me out because it will really keep us going over here and what we are doing over here. If you want to see this content continue, if you want to see us continue doing what we are doing here at Cricket Fanatics magazine. And then also I would like you guys to please go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all the regular updates as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to chatting to you guys about it. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with South Africa ODI series, South Africa A ODI series against Sri Lanka A. So we're going to start off with the latest match, the one that concluded today. Thank you to Pitch Vision for giving us an opportunity to actually watch this one and allowing us to be able to watch the game. It was excellent from our point of view, and it was good to be able to see the guys in action and watch them obviously play. So it was thank you for that. So what happened in this one? So it was a dominant bowling performance first up by the Proteas, who set up a comfortable win for South Africa A. Gerald Coetzee finished with figures of 5 for 48. Supported brilliantly by his bowlers Siniran Mutasamy, 2 for 42, Lazard Williams, 1 for 22, Bayer Swanepoel, 1 for 15, and Tristan Stubbs with a little bit of off spin there, 1 for 5. The skittled Sri Lanka for 172 in 42.3 overs. The only resistance by the hosts came from the number 6 batter, Shan Arachigi, who scored 63 off 103 balls, and the number 4 batter, Ashan Bandara, 36 from 49 balls. Most of the others were dismissed on single-digit scores, with only 2 batters managing to score in the teens. South Africa A's response was not perfect with the bat. Again, Stubbs and Mutasamy were the stars of the today, taking their team over the line with solid performances. Other than Stubbs, SAA registering scores in the teens. Mutasamy came crease with SAA on 101 for 5 and supported Stubbs well in a 74-run partnership. Stubbs finished with 58 of 93 balls, and Mutasamy hit the winning runs to post 45 from 55 balls and secure a 5-wicket victory along with the series 2-1. So that's a summary of what happened in the match. Now let's get into it. What did we learn from the series? Let's start by putting everything into perspective. So for me personally, what I wanted to see in this ODI series was whether everything in this particular game could, if there was any positives that the people can take out of this game, particularly Rob, for the ODI series and with the World Cup looming. Now, from my perspective, the the top six is already settled for South Africa. I would say the top five, top six is already cemented in South African cricket at the moment in the ODI team. With three players averaging um, over 40, it is very difficult to change things around in the top three. And then we've got that number four position, which I think we have Aiden Markram there with who offers off spin and can bat. He's been increasing his performances with the bat in ODI cricket. The number five with Heinrich Klaassen and number six with David Miller. Now, what I wanted to see from this tour is if anybody was going to put up their hand in those positions that we are lacking in the top order. So for me personally, I do think that number four spot needs some competition, and I do think that that number seven spot needs some competition, as well as that number six spot. What we saw in this particular ODI series is that the top order did not perform well throughout this tour. No matter what order we picked, no matter what players we picked in that top order, it wasn't a good turnaround from a top order's perspective. But we saw Deva Brevis perform in the first game. So that is a cover, I feel, for that 6 and 7 currently, because I think they're looking towards maybe giving him his first opportunities in those positions. And we saw him bowl as well and take a wicket. So that means that they obviously are thinking about maybe giving his introduction into international cricket in those positions. Then Stubbs performed with consecutive half centuries, one at the bottom of the order in batting first, and one at 4 batting second. And in both matches, he played with maturity, and he played with uh, with a head on his shoulders, and he was quite he was destructive when he needed to be, and he was rotating the strike in other cases quite well, which I really like to see. So those are already the four positions, the two positions that I spoke about already, or three positions that I spoke about already covered for with those two performances. I also wanted to see what Senator Mutasamy was going to do, because there has been a lot of scrutiny on his head for people saying that I'm not agreeing that he's a good batter, or not agreeing that he's a batter first and then a bowler. Today, he proved them, majority of his critics, wrong, because he put on a great performance to support Tristan Stubbs and actually get 45 in this particular match to help them get over the line, plus taking 2 wickets. Okay, one of them was a full toss, but it was almost like, I would say, justice, because the LBW shout that he had wasn't given out a little bit before that. So he actually, there was some justice. Actually, it equals out. I don't know if it was before or after, but the LBW shout, but the LBW shot wasn't given out. So it's kind of like it leveled the playing field a bit over there. So we see someone like Senator Mutasamy actually put on a performance with a bat. And what I saw from him in this match is what I've been seeing from him when I watched him live. The difference between him and some of the other all-rounders in the country, or you can talk about them, is the way he batted today. He looked like a batter. He looked like a top order batter, not just a slugger or someone that's going to come in and the swing at the ball and hope to get a 45. He actually built his innings. He ran between the wickets well. He rotated the strike, gave the strike to Stubbs, put the balls away with some decent shots. So it wasn't like a scraping 45 where you're just going to um, that we've seen from some other players in the past that bat in a lower position. You kind of just hope that they're going to slog away, or they get a little bit lucky with a couple of edges, and then they work their way to a 45. Whereas this was an innings that was built. He was it was a good innings ultimately, and he played some decent shots, good defensive shots. He played against the spin well. He did some reverse sweeps, some sweeps. I'm not reverse sweeps, but some sweeps. He put the balls away through the covers. He rotated the strike very well. So he batted maturely today, and that's a good sign for me in that particular area. Then we got to see some of our all-rounders perform, because I think that that's something that we lacking in South Africa is quality all-rounders. Now, Gerald Coetzee showed his masterclass with the bat, even though it was in a losing cause in the previous match. And we also saw Bayer Swanepoel in a winning cause in a chase bat with Deva Brevis and take the team over the line. So for me, a lot of the unanswered questions have been answered. Now, some of the other performances, not that good. The fact that our top order didn't perform in any of the games is a bit of an issue, I would say. But I don't think it's an alarming issue for me personally, because there isn't a. I think there's still time for these players to go on more tours, to continue their development. I'm sure that the coaches would have picked up on perhaps some issues maybe in certain batters. Now I don't know, because I can't speak on this because I didn't get to watch all the games. I only got to watch players play today, so I can't just look at a scorecard and then have an opinion about it, because I don't actually know what went down there. So I'm gonna ask for interviews from Rob, and try to get maybe some of the batters on the show so that I can discuss this with him. I'm going to try my best either during this period until the 4-day series starts, or after the 4-day series, to have a discussion with him. A lot of these players, for example, Kyle Verreynne, perhaps even Zubair Hamza, um, Tony De Zorzi, I think that the 4-day part of this particular tour is more the focus for them. I think, because I think there's more of an opportunity for them to break into the test side than there is for them in the ODI side, with that top six settled, and especially with Risa Hendricks also on the bench as a backup. So I think that ODI side, is particularly the top order, is sorted, and it was the bottom guys that I think needed to have more opportunity. Um, so yeah, so everything that I wanted to see, I mean, I saw the positives that I wanted to see out of this game. I think the answers were the questions that they had were answered. The challenges that were set to these players, that the ones that were seeming to be abnormal, were answered, and it's actually kind of a masterstroke by the coaches to have given these challenges to the players that they said they were going to, and those players actually coming out and performing. So I think the top order, particularly the top order batters, um, I think the way they perform in the 4-day series is going to be a lot more important for them than I think this ODI series. I think this was a good warm up for them to actually show and put up their hands for that 4-day series, because that 4-day series is where I think that's the opportunity that they're going to get to actually showcase the skills that they have to try and break into the test side. So that's my little review of everything. And now it's on to some other news stories before I get into the live chat with you guys. So another thing that was released earlier this week, something that I think is quite important, is the National Academy launch that happened in Tshwane. I think that's an important story to obviously tell. So I'm going to read this one out to you. It is on cricketfanaticsmag.com if you guys want to see it there. Sorry for all the ads on this on the on the article. We need to make our bucks, guys, because yeah, so we need to put some ads in the stories. Cricket South Africa celebrated the latest intake of the CSA National Academy program, featuring both men's and women's squads on Tuesday evening at the Center of Excellence in Tshwane, as the year's Youth Month marks the return of the full winter camp since the COVID-19 pandemic. As a crucial part of the CSA performance pipeline, the National Academy consists of two squads selected in depth performance standard focused on the South African under 19 graduates and rising stars from the provincial and domestic cricket. This year's winter program got underway on 1st of May when the men's squad, guided by S under 19's mid head coach Malibonga Maketa, gathered for the start of the 3 month of the season stint or off-season stint. Meanwhile, the women's squad got together at the start of June under the tutelage of SA under 19 women's mentor Tanisha Devenaran. The two National Academy camps will now take place simultaneously before concluding the end of July, with the players returning to their respective domestic sides to complete their pre-season preparations while working towards realizing their Proteas dream. So we're hoping that a lot of them can try to get there. Throughout the time of the National Academy, the players will be put through rigorous skills, tactical, physical, and medical assessment to provide holistic and individualized development in line with the expectations of international cricket. As part of the exchange agreement between CSA and ICC Africa, the South African Men's Academy players were joined by youngsters from Nigeria, Uganda, and Tanzania, respectively. In These are their names. I'm not going to try to butcher them. During the celebratory evening on Tuesday, the CSA Nationals Academy class of 2023 received their official caps in front of guests as they joined a list of Academy alumni such as Proteas Women's Marazan Cup, Chloe Tryon, Ayabonga Kaka, along with Aidan Markram, Lungidi, Hannah Klassen from the Proteas men. Speaking at the cap ceremony, Women's National Academy head coach Devnaran said, "First and foremost, we are very grateful to have a National Academy again for COVID, after COVID. So it has been a while since we have had a winter program like this. And it is very important with programs like this to sustain a national program and bridge the gap and expose players to another level of professionalism. The group of players are very excited because we have a mix of S under 19 players. We've got the 10 high performance players, and we've got some really good provincial players in there. So it's a mix of different groups, which is good." Devon continued. What best categorized them is that some of them have had the taste of national cricket, and they're going to use a program like this to try and cement a spot up top. And for the S under 19 girls, their learning continues from where they left off from the World Cup. The objectives of the camp are pretty simple. You want to leave the players in a better space from strength and conditioning point of view, technically, tactically, mentally, and definitely from the analytical point of view, which is a segment that we are pushing hard in the national camp. And I'm looking forward to that, she added. Maketa, the Men's National Academy head coach, said, "The program has been great thus far, to say the least. We believe we've got the best young players in the country and have grabbed the opportunity with both hands when it comes to hard work and dedication to the program. The players have been brilliant and have shown great improvements in a short space of time, which is quite pleasing for all of us. The biggest characteristic of most South Africans, especially young guys who are looking to make the step up, is hard work and dedication. That is what we have in this group. And now it is about us making sure that they understand the sequences of learning, how to train smarter and how to train to improve in terms of setting up the program, not only in the nets, but also in the gym. Some, how to go about their diet and how to manage their bodies so that they can recover and perform at their best. We'll look at the whole spectrum of their careers and make sure we tap into those spaces because we know the talent is there. The only thing that we are really looking to focus on is the small percentage that really takes them to the next level. So here are all the names, bringing them on the screen there for you guys. I'm going to leave it there for a little while. A couple of guys that I really want to mention over here that I'm looking forward to, obviously, sees okay, actually all of them, but it's good to see like Jordan Herman in here, Matthew Boast, guys like Josh Richards as well, someone that we spoke a lot about on the channel. I know Sia Plaiki quite well. Andila Simalani has been performing pretty well. It's also good to see someone like Mitchell van Buren in the setup as well, to say the least as well. And then in the women's department, I'm glad to see like someone like Andri Stein. I'm a big fan of hers. Um, it's also good to see people that have also gotten opportunities at the international level already that are also a part amongst this team. Like Annelie Dirkson's over here. That's another player. Leah Jones is another one that stands out. And oh, of course, there's under 19 captain Uluhle Sio. And then you've got some other under 19 players, but also another very exciting player is Elise Marie Marks, who's also part of this particular team. So it's a very balanced team, like Danisha explained. And I like that the focus is that. I think out of the two coaches of the year that spoke about this particular academy, I think Danisha hit it the best on the head, the nail on the head the best, because she really mentioned some details on this particular part of the year. I think is the best part that she could have mentioned. The technically, tactically, mentally, and definitely from an analytical point of view. I think that's an important thing that she made us aware of. Another thing that I want to also mention before I get into the live chat, guys, is that there's also an update with regards to an injury update from the S under 19 squad that I also want to talk about, because it's a bittersweet situation, I would say. Um, there's a positive that came out of the negative, I could say. So, first and foremost, to tell you guys, Lutus Pamela has been ruled out of the third one-day match against Sri Lanka due to a back injury. The 25-year-old experienced discomfort ahead of the second unofficial 50 over match on Tuesday, and the MRI scan revealed no stress fracture. Further assessment, however, revealed he was suffering from a lower back spasm. Decision on the inclusion in the two-match four-day series will be taken in due course. Um, S under 19 and Lions bowler Kwena Mapaka has been called up to strengthen the squad and will arrive on 9 June in preparation for the first four-day match. So that's brilliant. Kwena Mapaka, what a player, an amazing player. And I think he does deserve some. It's good to see that that the coaches are also, how can I say, they are giving the right players opportunities when they are opportunities are made available. So I think that's brilliant from the coaches that have obviously seen this boy in action. I mean, for those that have been lucky enough to see him play live, I mean, you are very lucky to have seen that because he's a brilliant player. Um, so it's awesome to see that they've given people opportunities that we all know have the potential. It's going to be an amazing learning experience for Quena. I think to be amongst this group of players that have been in and around the Proteas setup, and also to be able to learn from a young bowler like Gerald Coetzee, for example, and how he made his transition, I think is also another thing that's excellent to see. So that's an update for you guys on that. So let's get into the live chat and see what you guys have to say. Um, I don't know how to pronounce your name, bro. You've been on the channel and supported us for so long, but I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm not going to try. Uh, Trilo Kiviai. I said I'm not going to try, but I don't back down from a challenge. Another failure is a batsman. Class is just not up to an international level. I don't want to hurt, but it's a fact. One good innings, then struggles. First ODI, it's two players save. SA now again, two players played. Yeah. So yes, I agree that I wasn't very impressed with the top order, um, but it also, to an extent, that they have been also shuffled around a bit. There wasn't like a set opening six throughout this series. It was moved around. It was moved around a lot, but that's no excuse necessarily. I wish I did see some better performances from the guys that got given opportunities in this format. But I think for the batters, I think that the four-day series is more important. I think for these top order batters, because I think that, like I said earlier on, the test arena is where there's more places vacant than in this ODI team. Lawrence saying biggest positives this series is how DB took his role, players, and his all-round ability. The two mature knocks from Stubbs showing he's more than just a dasher. And Gerald shining with the bat and ball. Agree 100%. And I also think Senator Mutasami, I will add in there. It's concerning how our top order crumbled, though, especially against the left arm seam of Madushanka. Something to work on before the four-day series. 100% agree with you there. Dezorzi didn't do anything all series. Don't know why he got appointed as captain. Yeah, he didn't, but he got appointed as captain before his performances. So I think that kind of contradicts what you're saying. I'm happy for the Stubbs that he's getting the runs, but his strike rate was disappointing, though. It's ODI cricket, bro. It's not T20 cricket. The strike rate was pretty decent, I think, in this particular match. Positives from the series: Gerald, Dewald, and Tristan, as well as Senaran, I would say as well. Tristan Stubbs was definitely the standout for me, says Janvi. Um, Wanted to see Stubbs bowling, says Amit. Um, he did bowl. He bowled in the second. He bowled in today's game and he got a wicket. So he did bowl. Could see it continues to, but you'll get to see they will be bowling a lot more. I'm predicting that him and Dewald are going to be bowling a lot more in the 4 day. Could see it continues to impress. I'm very happy for him, but our top order collapsed again. Which player from the squad you see playing in ODI World Cup this year? I do think that Dewald and Tristan stand a chance. If Tristan can bowl more, he could possibly even be an extra batter in that lineup for us, um, which is an interesting one. And I think it's going to be, and I think as well, he can cover anywhere in that. He showed his versatility over the 2 days. So I do think that he can play anywhere in the from 4 till 7, possibly, if he can bowl a lot more and work on his bowling. Um, I think the two of them stand a chance. I mean, maybe this is not enough to see. Maybe we can say no. This is maybe not enough games to see for them to be put into the Proteas team straight away. But it's definitely will give Rob something to think about, which is what Chukri said he wanted to do. Tristan Stubbs is definitely the standout for me. Yes, sorry, I reread that. Sinaran is a batter that bowls, and it showed today. He never looked out of sorts at all, and that's how SA should be used, and not as a bowling all-rounder. Yep. Um, at number 4, it's Faf du Plessis. If not, then Brevis and Stubbs challenging for that spot. We shouldn't expect Markham to do well in the World Cup. He was in the middle order and he struggled. Um, I think we can expect him to do well. Sinaran is a batter who can bowl, and today it showed in. Okay, oops, I already read that. Khalid here's an interesting question. I see Quena called up for the South Africa A series, and I'm really happy for him. But where are we with the likes of Bartman and the Pavilion, for example? Don't they deserve an opportunity? They've been given quite a few opportunities already, I think. Um, and yeah, perhaps they do deserve an opportunity, but I think that they looked at this and they thought that this was a perfect opportunity um, to see Quena in person, because I think they know, these coaches know what Bartman and De Pavlin can bring. And both of them didn't necessarily have the best of seasons last season, but at least they can. This is an opportunity for them to have a closer look at someone like Quena Mabaka and see what he can do, and what the direction and plan is going to be for him in the future. If Devil can work on his bowling more, he has scary potential as a future all rounder. Very, very true. And I think that is something that they're trying to push him in. I think we should be careful to not alienate the seasoned pros like the above mentioned, just for the sake of going for young. There needs to be a balance because we'll be needing them in the future too. Kelly says Stubbs came in with the score at 20 for 4 and 27 for 2. Really like Bayes, wonderful, bowled very well, says Gerard as well. Kelly says Deerwald has bowled more than, and Tristan really hasn't bowled enough to judge him as a part-time option. But Tristan's batting seems technically more sound. He's been facing the new ball, etc. Um, which is also very true. I think those are decent points because he hasn't bowled enough, like I said earlier on, which is something that I want to see him do more. If they are going to see him as a part-time bowler as well for the team, I think that majority of batters that have that in their arsenal should work on it. It just gives them an extra. It gives them an extra bit of something to allow them to get picked, which is also good for the future. I think to have that extra option in the team, it just covers all bases, and I think it will strengthen people's chances of getting picked. Okay, Kelly agrees with Bayes had a good series overall. Even when he didn't take wickets, he was economical. Yeah, he was. Not the fastest of bowlers, but in these particular conditions, he seemed to keep it. What I like the most about it is that he kept the ball in good positions consistently. He made sure the batters kept playing, and he put it on the spot consistently. Unlike the Indian bowlers today, guys. Ben, I can't remember the exact stat, but the amount of times that they hit the wickets was very very low. If you look at the statistics, they bowled all over the place and didn't really make it difficult for Australia from a World Test Championship perspective. I was so excited because on the first day in that opening session, Shami was bowling so beautifully, um, and I really was enjoying the bowling to start off with. Um, and I really thought that they had a decent bowling attack that could actually give um, Australia make the life difficult for Australia. I think that they could have restricted them for a lot less, especially with the batting problems that India have. They've been struggling over the last couple of series to actually consistently get runs on the board, um, and as you can see again, and I thought that India with the when I saw Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj running together, I really thought that that was going to be a dangerous pair. Obviously, um, not as effective as I would have hoped, because I mean, obviously, Australia posting 469. Travis Head was fantastic, and Stephen Smith once again. A lot of us said Stephen Smith is going to be the danger man. His average in England is ridiculous. And then, I mean, if you're going to look at India, they just collapsed completely. I mean, nobody really putting in a fight over here. And Cummins, Boland, and Green and Stark just went right on them. They're currently 151 for five. So, yeah, coming back to Bayers, unlike the Indian bowlers, he actually kept the ball in a very good position consistently. Um, Kelly saying Bayers and Lizard were very um, miserly today, likely played a big role in Gerald Kutsia picking up five. So that's true. I think no, it's very important. It's very important to have players that can keep the ball on in dangerous areas and pile the pressure on the opposition batters and stop them from scoring, so that others can take wickets on the other end. I think that's very important, and I think that's exactly true. Lazard Williams and Bayes Swanepoel did that job for the team today, but they also took wickets. But I mean, it's a very good thing to see that when you, especially Lazard, a fast bowler, being able to be economical as well at the same time is a very good sign, um, because I think that shows longevity in a bowler's arsenal. Lauren saying, I thought thoughts on Kashile. Personally, I need to see more and I need to see consistency. He's been in the system and part of the A structure for a while now. Yeah, it's, for me as well. I mean, I've been tracking Kashile's career for a very long time, and it's something that I've been wanting to see for a very. I wanted to see him perform for a very long time, and he hasn't necessarily put on the performances domestically consistently as I would have liked. His first season was brilliant with a lot of half centuries, but it didn't convert him into, particularly in 4-day cricket. I think that South Africa and the selectors did an injustice to Koshile coming out of Kaya Majorowicz. They threw him into the T20 Proteas setup early on when he wasn't necessarily a T20 player. And it's quite sad that that actually happened. I don't know how that affected the player mentally or how it affected his attitude going forward and what he wanted to focus on. He had a great 4-day series in his debut season, and then he couldn't back it up afterwards. Then he was given the captaincy at the Warriors quite early, which I didn't agree with either because I think he needed to work on his batting. But I think there should have been more focus on Plashile's 4-day cricket and his red ball cricket than his white ball cricket. That's where I felt always that you would. Um, that's where I think you should have been better. So yeah, I think you would have been better in that department ultimately, because I think that in 4-day cricket, he's um, he's always looked better in the longer format. Even in Kaya Majola week, he was scoring massive hundreds. Him and Jason Niemand in the Kaya Majola week. So I always thought he was going to go towards red ball cricket. Um, Kelly saying I really rate Plashide, especially in the longest format. I think CSA really messed with him when he was initially picked for. Well, flipping, that's what I just said. That being said, Plashide needs more game time. I haven't seen a lot of him. He is starting to look more like himself again, and the season of late. Are we going to the lineup the same for are we going to play the same li- lineup the same side for the tests? Oh, are we going to line up the same side for the tests? It's the same squad. So we probably will see. Lava, did you read my comment about Kashili before you say that's because Jinx? No, I didn't. I didn't even see it. Our first match in the Cricket World Cup is against Pakistan, according to the rumors, says Tabo. Um, that's that will be a tough one because Pakistan is like a very difficult team to play in knockout games and in the World Cup, etc. So yeah, I'm not 100% happy on that one. If that's going to be the case, it's not the best of opponents to get in your first match. So overall, guys, I'm happy with this tour. Apart from the top order batters, I think that South Africa managed to tick off a couple of boxes or check a few boxes that they were looking at. I think that there have been some questions answered regarding the weak spot in the Proteas setup. So, all in all, I'm happy with the ODI stint. For me, the most important part of this whole um, tour was always going to be the 4-day series. We're going to get more time to see these players. We're going to see them put under pressure. They're going to have to bat for long hours. It's going to be a difficult test for them. For some of these guys that haven't necessarily played a lot of 4-day series cricket, like the Ova Brevis, for example. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see how they handle the pressure. And I think a lot of these players will be playing for a spot in the test arena. Um, So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. Also, don't forget to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also become a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also like, comment, share as well, please. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. To all the guys out there, thanks a lot for tuning in. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon with another daily show. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.